Hello, and welcome back to the Daily Bible Summary, where the goal is to renew your mind as we read a new chapter every day and ask the question, what can I learn? Today's episode is entitled, Jacob Blesses Joseph. Please read chapter 48 if you haven't already, and then let's get started. The day comes when Joseph is called to his father's side because he is sick. And judging by the fact that Jacob has to summon his strength to sit up when Joseph comes, indicates that this is going to be Jacob's deathbed. Joseph brings with him his two oldest sons, Manasseh and Ephraim. This chapter will discuss the blessing given to Joseph, but the next one will talk about the blessings that all of the sons receive. As we know, Jacob has always been favored by Joseph, or let me reverse that. Joseph has always been favored by Jacob because he was Rachel's son. Now, the Mosaic law will later prohibit the way Jacob is dividing the assets, that is, where the firstborn of the loved wife is favored over the firstborn of the lesser loved wife. But here, Joseph is being given the double portion, which should have gone to Reuben. The way Jacob does this, though, is unique. He adopts Joseph's two sons as his own, saying in verse 5, Ephraim and Manasseh shall be mine as Reuben and Simeon are. In this way, Joseph effectively receives a double portion, two full tribes instead of one. But Jacob goes one more step further. As he blesses both the boys, who are now in their early to mid-20s, he places Ephraim, the youngest, above Manasseh, the oldest. Convention would have the oldest blessed before the younger, or over the younger, and Joseph tries to correct his father, but Jacob is adamant. This is an interesting twist, and no doubt you will recall that Jacob himself was the younger brother who was blessed over his older brother Esau. Jacob also gives to Joseph a piece of property he says that he took from the Amorites. In the Hebrew, there may be a play on words here, since it sounds similar to Shechem, or the slope that he's talking about. I think it's the word slope that sounds a little bit like Shechem. I don't know. I don't speak Hebrew, but that's what I'm told. Anyway, this is the city where he had purchased a plot of land from. So this might be the same plot of land that he's talking about, but we don't really have any more information about the conflict he refers to. We also see in verse 21 a promise that Joseph himself will come to rely upon, and that is that God will bring his family back to the land of their fathers. Joseph will not see this himself. He will die in Egypt, but his bones will be carried back generations later by Moses. In fact, he makes Israel promise to do this because, as Hebrews 11:22 tells us, he had faith in that promise. Indeed, the promise is sure, and God is always faithful. So here's today's lesson to consider. Our present sufferings, as real as they are, will pale in comparison to eternal glory. Now, I have a phrase that I like to say, our problems will not matter in 100 years. Yes, they are real, but the suffering will disappear in heaven. We'll take a look at we'll get our lesson from verses 15 to 16 here today. Jacob says, the God before whom my fathers Abraham and Isaac walked, the God who has been my shepherd all my life long to this day, the angel who has redeemed me from all evil, bless the boys. Notice how Jacob acknowledges here that God has shepherded him through his whole life, even in the terrible, no good, very bad, rotten times. And more importantly, redeemed him from all evil. Now you may be thinking, all things work together for good. True, we've seen that verse before. But don't forget Romans 8 verse 18 also. For I consider that the sufferings of this present time are not worth comparing to the glory that is to be revealed to us. Now, looking back, Jacob can see all the troubles he went through have been worth it. And we also will consider the glory of heaven to be worth any and all of the sufferings we go through in this world as we walk before God, like Abraham. We also know that Jacob promises Joseph that God will bring his family back into the land that they came from. Well, we did not originate in heaven like Joseph originated in the land of Canaan. We are looking for that home where our citizenship is, and the same city that Abraham was looking for, a city not built with hands. As Hebrews 11 verse 10 says of Abraham, he was looking forward to a city that has foundations, whose designer and builder is God. And our God will see us through to that day. Here are some questions to consider. When you face suffering now, can you trust that God is shepherding you even through the hard times, and that He will redeem you even in your darkest hour? Do you live with your eyes fixed on your heavenly home, or are you too anchored in this temporary world? Tomorrow, Lord willing, we will see Jacob blessing his other sons just before his passing. But remember, each day, as we contemplate what we read, we will continue to renew our minds.